Hey, eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and it's time for another eBay seller interview. Today we have Rochelle Carter, who is one of my illustrious moderators on my Facebook group.
Yay!
And I'm so glad to have her on my team of moderators because she does a great job. And we're going to get into our discussion. Rochelle is in Illinois near Chicago, so she's going to give us some insight on doing the eBay thing in cold weather as well, since I'm in Georgia and I don't have that problem. But welcome, Rochelle. Thanks for agreeing to do this.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to do it.
Great. So let's go through some of the basic questions about, how you got where you are today. What brought you to eBay? How did you get started?
I got started back in 2004. At the time, I was living in Atlanta, actually. I was thinking, and I was a newspaper reporter. The business, from the time that I had started in it, there was always kind of the threat of us losing readers to television and then to the internet. So I always kind of was thinking, what else would I want to do? But I specifically got interested in eBay thanks to two of my coworkers. One of them, she was going to garage sales and selling used clothes on eBay, and then another one of them, she was actually selling coupons. She would go through the Sunday papers and that had not been sold and take out all the coupons and cut them up and sell them on eBay. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
walking past two of them, and one of them was just going through these coupons like crazy. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they told me, and I think that weekend I went out and bought a laser printer, signed up for an account, bought a digital camera that was like $300,
Whoa.
and signed up for an account and got eBay for Dummies and read the whole book.
Oh yeah, coupon. I did coupons for a while, and they were pretty lucrative. I used to go around in my neighborhood and pick up all the newspapers that were in like the driveways of either people didn't live there anymore, or they just didn't pick them up. Because
Oh,
we would
wow.
get. Did you work for the AJC when you were here?
Yes, uh-huh,
Okay,
uh-huh.
Atlanta Journal Constitution. Um, so we would get this Thursday newspaper. Everybody got it, and it had the food section, and it would have
Yeah,
the same
uh-huh.
coupons in it that would come out on Sundays. So I would see that people wouldn't pick these up. So at night, if they had sat out there all day, I would go around and pick up all these newspapers and take the coupons out of them and sell them. I mean, that was when
Oh, wow.
I was really like hungry for ways to make money, and I was never going to work for anyone ever again. So I became this troll that would go around the neighborhood picking up newspapers. So yeah, I mean, that was a lucrative business. I think I was making $300 or $400 a month selling coupons.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, that was great. So what you're saying is at the newspaper they would take papers that were left over?
Yeah, I guess what would happen is the coupon inserts would come, and they would be, there would be a machine that would insert them into the papers. But
Mhm.
I guess that we would always have stacks of Sunday papers on Monday that had not been delivered, or that I guess were overruns. I don't know what they were, but they were free game. I would just take them, so I could save 50 cents on some detergent. But my coworker Stephanie, she would just grab like a ton of them and just sit, while she was answering the phone and click coupons.
That's
And I was
that's
just like,
genius. I love that.
yeah, I was just like stunned, and I was just like, I can't believe you're doing this. She's like, yes, why
She's
not?
like, it's not illegal. Yeah, I mean, and all the rules for coupons have changed. I'll put a link below the video on what they are now, but it's much the opportunity is just not there anymore because eBay cracked down on all that. Um,
Mhm.
but you could batch up 10 of 10 $5 off coupons for a Febreze wall plug thing, and sell those for like $20 a batch, and you know
Oh, wow.
I would sell the real expensive, the high dollar coupons. Um,
Mhm.
but that was a good business. So And so you did coupons too?
No, I never did coupons. Um, I started out kind of big time. I went straight into selling designer purses.
Mm.
I was kind of like kind of a little bit of a snobby person. I probably still am, but I was like, I'm not going to garage sales too high. And then people were like, oh, you should go to thrift stores. And I went to I was like, oh no, I can't do this. So I just happened to be in Bloomingdale's one day, and I saw this purse that was marked down, like 75% off. I think it was a Coach bag. And I was like, I wonder if I could sell this.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and I was like, oh my God. And then I started driving up to the premium outlet, up 400, and I would go in there once a week and buy a bunch of purses. And I had a sales lady at Bloomingdale's that would set aside purses for me. And I was just doing it.
Well, and again, that's changed a lot since 2004. Here we are, 2016, and I think the last time I did a search on eBay for Coach handbag, there were 125,000 results. So,
wow.
I mean, a lot of people have the same idea you had now, and it's a lot harder to make money. In fact, a lot of people that I have worked with over the years, that's what they come. I want to learn how to sell designer handbags because I live near an outlet. And I'm like, well, let me show you something first. Look at how many competitors you're going to have. And it's just really hard if you're doing it that way because so many people are onto that. So, but in the good old days, it was really lucrative. They weren't just.
Now, what I wish back then is that I had, when I was still in Atlanta, that I had started out thrifting, because then I could have just very seamlessly moved from reporting into selling on eBay, because the market is so full of amazing goods in Atlanta that you can get, for $2, $3, $4.
Oh, I know.
But I had to take the roundabout route. Well, as I frequently do with everything.
Well, and I'm in Atlanta, and that's one reason I started my blog was because I was like, I can't be everywhere. I can't get everything. There's only so many hours in a day that you can get out there and get this stuff. And, there's, I think 37 Goodwills in the metro Atlanta area, something like that. How can you possibly get it all? So I'm like, well, maybe I can help some other person learn what to do. And, they're over in a different county. They can go to their store and find it. Because when I first started this, and maybe you were like this too, I was terrified that someone was going to find out what I was doing and they were going to go to all those thrift stores and get all the good stuff, and there would be nothing for me. And as the years go by, it's like, are you kidding me? There's so much stuff out there. There's not enough hours in a day to get it all. So what brought you to from Atlanta to Illinois?
Well, I'm from Urbana, Illinois. After I left the paper in 2004, I took a year off, just kind of goofing around, and so I was selling on eBay, but I wasn't really that serious about it. But that was kind of what I was doing while I tried to find myself.
I didn't know you were lost.
And then I 2006, I got my real estate license. I thought, oh wow, it's so smart to get into real estate right at this time.
Oh, perfect.
And by the end of 2007, I was like, between my legs, running back home to my mom. So, because the market collapsed.
Right.
So I've been here since 2007. I didn't sell from like mid-2006 until probably mid-2008. And that in 2006, I had been back here. I was temping. I was like, am I going back to Atlanta? Am I staying here? I don't know. And my mom's like, you're getting out of my house, so you better figure something out. And so I happened to sign into my PayPal account, and I had $40 in there. And I still had my PayPal debit card. And I was like, well, what could I do with this? And I was a member of the eBay closing board. And, so I was seeing all these people talking about selling clothes. And I was like, I got going to a thrift store. And I was like, I better go to a thrift store. And so I went in there, and I found some amazing things. And I just started selling and clothing out of my mom's bedroom in 2008. And I got a full-time job here. That was like a month later. So I was selling and working full-time. And then one day in 2011, I just decided, I think I'm ready to do this on my own. So I gave my notice.
Was it hard to make the jump? I mean, as far as figuring out benefits and, making the money work and that kind of thing?
That's been hard. For me, I'm not somebody who is like I'm more of a big picture person than a detail person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been the thing that has caused me the most trouble. And if I was talking to someone who was thinking about quitting their job, I wouldn't talk them out of it, but I would just tell them these things, benefits and things like that, you really have to take these seriously.
Right.
Don't play around with that.
Well, and another thing, and you're in the same situation as me because I'm single and self-employed, is when you go to get a mortgage, it's really hard because they want they want a W-2 job and steady income and all this stuff. And if you're not paying yourself and you can't show that income, then you can't get a mortgage. And a lot of even rental companies, these companies bought up all these rental houses back in 2008. And so that it's not just like some guy renting a house. It's these companies that have all of these hoops you have to jump through that makes it very difficult. So if you're out there listening and you are single and self-employed and you have any plans to move or get a mortgage, you need to look at all that now and figure out, get it right on paper because it's tough.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you have a background in designer clothing? Like, had you worked in retail, or is this just something you know about?
It's just something that I know about. In my personal life, I'm not a fashionable person at all. If I found a pair of jeans that had Walmart, stamp across the behind, if they fit, I'd wear them. I don't care. I don't wear fancy clothes. I don't wear fancy shoes. But it's something that, for me, I do appreciate beautiful clothes, and I do know how to sew, so I know something about clothing construction. But also from the standpoint of living in, being a single person, living in an apartment, clothing is very easy to store, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. Also, I'm working with boxes when I'm shipping, so really the only thing that I ship that goes in boxes is shoes, and every pair of shoes I sell, I'm like, why did I buy these shoes? Because I just don't like boxes. So I managed. I'm kind of crazy.
No, I'm the same way. I think we were like twins separated at birth because, I do all these classes and things on clothing and I don't wear that kind of stuff. In fact, if I buy something that looks cool at a thrift store for myself and then I get home and figure out this is worth money, I sell it. I'm like, I would much like everything in my closet's for sale. And then if it sells, I just wash it and ship it. Because I just can't stand, everything's for sale. it just makes my life easier. So, you hang something on the
Yes.
wall, it's for sale. I'm just storing it there. If it sells, I just get something else to put there. So I
Yes.
probably like living in a thrift store the way I run my life, but to me, I don't care. I'd rather be able to pay my bills and not have to work for somebody else, and just figure it out that way. But yeah, I learned all about clothing when I started selling on eBay too. So it's not something I knew about. But now you're in Urbana, Illinois, right?
Urbana, Illinois.
Okay.
It's Twin Cities to Champaign, Illinois. So we refer to it as Champaign, Urbana, Illinois.
Okay.
We're 2 hours south of Chicago, 1.5 hours east of west of Indianapolis, and 3.5 hours northeast of St. Louis.
Okay. Well,
So
you're in this
major university here.
You're in a snowy area in the winter.
Yes.
Because I would see things, you'd post on our Facebook group, we're having a blizzard, but that doesn't stop me. Here's everything I bought today. And like you're walking to the thrift store in the blizzard because nobody's there, and you can get more good stuff that way.
Yes.
That was a great tip. And,
yes, it's a tornado warning. Go to Goodwill.
And you don't have a husband to say you can't do that.
No.
But back to your apartment. You said that you're in about 700 to 800 square feet, and you do this business in there. How many items do you have for sale?
Right now I have 855, I think.
Okay. And what is your storage situation like? How do you store your inventory?
Everything is in cardboard, either cardboard banker boxes or the big Rubbermaid bins. So I put everything in Ziploc bags and then put it either in a banker box or a bin, depending, where I have space.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 2 bedrooms, and the master bedroom is the eBay room. So in there I have all of my inventory, plus an area where I take photos and an area where I ship. And then I list from the desktop computer. That's in my living room.
Okay. So do you have a storage system like numbered boxes, or you just kind of do it by type of item?
I have numbered boxes. Each box or bin has a number on it, and so in the custom label area of on the Selling Manager Pro, I put the date that the item was listed and then where it's located. So it'll say for things that I'm listing today, it'll be September 7th, 2016, bin 3. And so when the item sells, shows exactly where it is. I just go to the bin, grab the item, slip it into its shipping envelope, put the label on it, and ship it out.
Great. So have you ever not been able to find something?
Yeah.
Was that before or after this system?
After. Sometimes I don't put it down, or sometimes the way that I list is I duplicate an old listing and then just change stuff. And sometimes I don't change the location of the item.
Right.
But I figured out that I can go through all of the bins and the boxes in 25 minutes to find something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, it's a quick process.
So you're just clothing and shoes?
Yeah, I have a couple, like I've tried different things, like I've tried, what are those needlepoint things?
Right.
Things. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple of those listed. I have I just got some stuff back from Amazon that didn't sell, like iPad cases. So I'm debating whether to just donate those or to list those, or give them away for Christmas to people who don't have iPads, but whatever. but pretty much I just stick to clothing and shoes. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I like, and that's what I know.
So let me ask you the on-the-spot question. So if you go into a thrift store and you only have 30 minutes, what do you look for?
Dresses and tops.
Mm-hmm.
Dresses because buyers like dresses, and they seem to be easier to fit, and I can generally make more money off of a dress than I can off of other items. And then tops, just because I can always find a top that is going to be worth some money, or a few tops. So just those are the two areas I hit. But usually in our thrift stores, you have to walk past the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do a quick look at the shoes.
Well, and you really know your brands. You've put some things up on the Money Making Mondays that I'm stalking you the way people stalk me. But you know your brands, like that Sundance Robert Redford brand is
I love that
great.
brand.
And that the tag just looks so like mediocre brand. I mean, it doesn't look like anything, like a Johnny Was tag where it's all, this looks like something. It's just very plain. And I've sold several of those because you brought that to my attention. But you seem to know all these kind of niche brands that aren't in the mainstream. So you just kind of learned that along the way.
I got most of that information from when I was really active on the eBay clothing board.
Okay.
I really got to know some sellers there who were killing it as far as their businesses. People who were able to quit their jobs, sell full time on eBay, and buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, amazed at kind of the volume they were able to do, and they would post brands, and that's where I learned a lot, pretty much mostly everything I know as far as brands, just from kind of sitting at the knee of more experienced sellers. I mean, I've been selling since 2004, but I still consider myself to be a baby in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the wonderful thing about eBay is you can just go on the site and you can find like example after example after example of sellers who are just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can look through their listings. If you want, you can even, send them a message, and they may help you out. And just kind of looking through the site, you can see possibilities of things that you can do just by looking at the site. And then, different Facebook groups, especially stay-at-home moms selling on eBay. That resource there, for anybody who is just thinking, there's got to be a different way for me to live my life. The information's out there. There's people willing to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got information that can help somebody else.
Well, yeah, and
you gotta do a little work to get it.
We all know different things. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, will see my blog or something and they're like, well, I'd like to start selling, but I don't know about, I don't know anything. And I'm like, yeah, you do. You've got a hobby, or you worked somewhere, or somebody in your family collects something. Everybody knows more than they think they do. And when you can discover what something is worth that you didn't know had any value, there's all kind of stuff like that, well, I didn't know people would buy, old thimbles or, just crazy stuff that I used to read those Covell's guides about the, antiques and collectibles to get ideas for stuff. And it's just endless what these people collect and what they will pay for. And you just have to learn to be open to, figuring that out, because it changes all the time. You can't just make up, here's my list of 25 things I'm going to do. You have to be open to everything, because tomorrow we're all going to find out about something that sells that we didn't know about today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you keep this business going, I think, is constant learning. So you mentioned...
Drink me today, so I'm sitting here listening at your knee now.
Well, you mentioned Amazon, so are you doing FBA also?
I guess I am doing it. I still have an account, but I got, that kind of got lost in the shuffle. So I just, they had that promotion where they were, you could get stuff that wasn't selling back. So I just got a huge shipment of different stuff that I had found at Dollar Tree,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it didn't sell, so that stuff came back. And so I'm like, okay, well, I did get out there and find some things, and pleased about that. I'm still, profitable, still in the black as far as Amazon. I need to kind of spend the day looking at Amazon and figuring out, okay, where do I want to take this, or do I not want to do it anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so different from eBay. I love that they handle everything, but it's kind of I'm used to seeing something unique and figuring out how to sell it, but more with Amazon, you have to figure out how to sell something that's common.
Yeah, and that was a problem for me. I got out of it a couple years ago because I was one of the first people to get into it with all that retail arbitrage stuff. And the constant problem there is anybody else can get their hands on the same thing.
Yeah.
And when you're the only person on eBay that has a size 42 Dansko clog in brown, blah, 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 whatever the details are, you can price your item higher and get the sale, because that's why I like selling shoes, is because, for women, there's size 5 up to 11, wide, narrow, medium, all different colors, and you may have the only one for that particular person at that particular moment, and boom, they pay full price and you get that sale. And it's just when you're selling cereal and coffee and My Little Ponies on Amazon that anybody can get at Walmart or Target, it takes a lot of money in inventory, and then sometimes you just can't even sell it for what you paid for it.
Yeah.
So, well, not the items you might find at Goodwill where it's a one-of item that you can get for $1 and sell for 20. Specialty air filters, things like that were good, but I just didn't like it as much as a business, because to me eBay is, I'm just more passionate about finding that unique thing, and then you get that person's feedback and they just, oh, thank you so much for this, my mother had one of these and it broke when we moved and I'm so happy to have it again, and stuff like that. So
yes.
Do you have any stories like that, any memorable items that you've sold you want to share?
Sure. My most memorable item was the biggest sale that I've had. I think this was I think it was 2013. It's funny, I don't.
Was that the jacket?
Details.
The Levi's jacket?
Jacket.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah, the Levi's jacket. That was like the craziest thing, because here where I live, we have the University of Illinois is here.
Mm-hmm.
So 41,000 undergrad students. I think an extra 15,000 grad students, something crazy like that. And so we have all of these college professors who have, are from everywhere, have been everywhere, have everything.
Mm.
And so this gentleman who passed away, he was somehow affiliated with the university. And so his modest house in town, he had an estate sale, and just he collected everything. And so this estate sale had all of the collectors there, and so I'm there, this little, eBay clothing seller, not knowing anything about anything else, and I'm just like looking around, and how some resellers have that cockiness about, like, oh yeah, blah blah. Yeah, I went here and I spent 50 cents on this thing, and I made $10 million off of it. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, standing there like,
Yeah, yeah. As my daughter says, that's not real. That's not real.
yeah.
Nobody does that.
And so I was just like, I think it was probably I don't even think it was my fifth estate sale at that time. And, I'm kind of debating in my mind why I'm even here. I could be at home, blah, blah, blah. And so, and I have no idea what I want, And so I go in, I sit outside for like 3 hours. And so I get in and I kind of go to the right, and there's this room where he has like 1,000 CDs. He had games and collectible toys and a futon, and the room was packed, and it was packed full of collectors too.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people who bought trucks that they're just planning to just clean this house out.
They're out for blood, yeah.
Yeah. And so I grabbed a few things that, and quickly searched on my phone. I was like, oh my God, this is worth something. This is worth something. And I was looking at things that the typical estate sale person doesn't look at, because I knew I couldn't do anything with a chair. Couldn't carry the chair out of there. And so I went to the closet, and there were some clothes hanging there, and I remember there was an LL Bean jacket, and I was like, well, I know I can make some money off this. And then I see this like shredded denim jacket, and I look at it, and I see it was Levi's with a big E on it, and I was just like, oh, I could probably sell this for $50. Because it's $2. Because like the cuff was held on with safety pins all around. It had big holes in it and everything. And so I was just like, well, this will be my first one. $50, maybe 25. I'll be happy with 25. And so I get it back, and I photographed it, and I posted it on our group's page and another group's page. And so people were like, oh my God, that's blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember what type it was, but it's from the 1930s. And so, I was like, well, do you think I can get 50 for it? And they were like, are you kidding me? What? And so I started the auction at $500. And up until I sold that jacket, my highest sale, I sold 3 different things for $400.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'm pricing something higher than anything else I've ever sold. And it's like, oh my God, I had a bid within 8 hours, and it just took off, and it ended up selling for, I think, $1,185, maybe $1,200 to a woman in Germany. It was huge bidding war and everything. And it's just like, oh my God, I turned $2 into $1,200 in 5 days. And, and I was in a room full of, 100 collectors, and none of them saw that. None of them.
And that's when you walk around saying, I don't need no stinking job. I can do this.
Yeah.
That was so great, yeah, because you posted that on Money Making Mondays, and it was around $1,200, I remember.
Yeah.
And that was just so amazing.
And it's, it's just, and that, when you sell on eBay, you're duplicating that every day. Now, every day is not going to be a $1,200 day. I mean, I haven't had a sale that big since, but, $100 sales are not that rare. $50 sales are pretty common. 25 happen every day. And you're doing the same thing every day, but you're also getting something to someone that they couldn't get themselves.
Right.
I mean, my buyer was in Germany. She wasn't going to come over here to buy that jacket.
Right, exactly. And I think that, eBay sellers undervalue themselves because they don't realize you're helping that person find this very hard to find item. You were in the right place at the right time. You bought it. You took pictures of it. You put it up online, and you're going to send it to them. That, it's not just the item's value. It's all that other stuff too. So, trying to encourage people to charge enough for their items. Don't start these low auctions. Put it on fixed price it high, and put best offer and see what happens. because there's always somebody out there willing to pay the full price for it. You just have to be patient.
Yeah.
And what you said about the $25 items, I went through on my bookkeeping spreadsheet I keep every month, and I added up all the items that sold for $20 or less each month just to see, and it's usually between $250 and $500 a month that I make on all those, $20 or less items. So you may look at your phone, oh, I got a sale, oh, it's just a $20 whatever, but it all adds up. And if you just keep doing it over and over again, $500 is, grocery money for the month, or depending on what you drive, a car payment or whatever.
Yeah.
So it just all adds up. I love that story about that jacket. I want to be you. So what do you get most of your stuff at thrift stores? Do you go to the big ones like Goodwill and Salvation Army, or do you just go everywhere?
We have 2 Goodwills, 1 Salvation Army, we have 1 church thrift store, and we have 1 nonprofit thrift store, and then 2 consignment stores in town. So I mainly go to Goodwill, but I've had good luck hitting Salvation Army, and the consignment stores are actually a very good source for inventory. It's amazing to me the stuff that they're unable to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they reduce things, all the way down to $3 or $1. And, that's cheaper than Goodwill.
Yeah, I found one the other day that they have everything regular price for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they take it next door to their consignment bargain basement place, and it's 80% off. So I got,
wow.
Ann Taylor and really good stuff. I need to go back for $1. And they had originally had it in the other store for anywhere between $5.99 and $8.99. But, they've got to turn it over because they keep getting more stuff in. They don't have the floor space to leave it there forever.
Yeah.
So that's another good source for people listening. Check consignment stores. You'll be surprised what's in there. If you take your time and look through everything, what you can find. Okay, so we've talked about your apartment and where you live, and what is the most challenging part for you of selling?
A couple of things. First off, where I live, because I'm competing against sellers, live in Atlanta, Chicago, other areas. It can be challenging sometimes to find inventory. But the thing with that, I would hope that anybody who's like, well, yeah, I live in a town just like her, so I can't do it because she bought all the inventory. No, you have to think differently. You have to look at your situation and find the advantage in it. Like, I like selling tops and dresses. But every time that I go to the thrift store, I usually can find a pair of silver jeans or, some branded jeans. I don't like selling pants, but I have to look at pants. I don't like selling men's clothes, but I got to go through those out too to find stuff. Fortunately, I live in a large state, so Chicago is only 2 hours away. There's a Salvation Army that is 40 miles away that has every Saturday they have 69-cent day, and it's a huge Salvation Army. So if you're looking at your situation and you're thinking, well, I can't do this because, you just got to find a workaround.
Right. And you said you're near college. Have you heard of this thing called Hippie Christmas?
No,
Well, I don't know where that came from. I heard that the other day, and it's apparently when the students move out in May
Mhm.
and they just leave all the stuff they don't want around campus. Um, and you can just go around and pick up this stuff. By the dumpsters, they'll leave things out, knowing that someone's going to come by and get it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm
need to.
not familiar with that term, but yes, we have that here too. Where people go around and just pick up stuff that the students have left. I know people found brand new laptops
Ah,
in in the box.
wow,
Just left
that's
because the students didn't want it. And most of the students here are from the Chicago area. They're from affluent families, so they don't want something. Usually it's something pretty nice that they don't want.
so. Have you done that? Gone around and looked for things on the campus or near the campus?
I've tried it, but I haven't. I always miss the day.
Mm.
I'm not. So I need to. That's on my list of things that I've got to do this upcoming year. One of the things that the YMCA did is they're encouraging the students to donate it to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have a sale in the they have a sale in the fall of the stuff that's donated. So, but I think there's still plenty of stuff that's out there.
Yeah, these people that do like the dumpster diving and going through the neighborhoods when on trash day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn how to do that.
Yeah, I do
I'm
too.
so spoiled with my thrift stores because it's air conditioned and they have a bathroom and
Yes.
it's like organized. Everything is a certain price and it's all organized, and I like the shopping experience of doing it that way. I'm not opposed to digging through things, but I
Mm-hmm.
just am in my comfort zone on that. And even some of these thrift stores that have crazy half off day, and once a month they'll have half off day at Value Village, and I won't even go in there till the afternoon because in the morning it's just like you could get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, well, what is your best advice for sellers who want to grow their business to the stage you're at with 855 listings, doing eBay full time? What is your best advice?
Oh wow. I would say I think my best advice would be it's going to sound a little crazy, but if this is something that you want to do, don't tell other people that you're going to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of shocking to me that even after we've just come out of this bad recession, that regular people, don't know much about entrepreneurship and they'll discourage you from doing it. Um, so if you're thinking about doing this, just sit down and figure out how to do it, but don't invite everybody else into the conversation because they will discourage you. It is difficult to do this, difficult to do it, especially, I won't say especially as a single person because I think for a married person there's a whole other set of issues that
Hmm.
come about that a single person doesn't have to deal with.
Right.
But it's scary, when you're the only one. So you only have to rely on yourself. But if you are thinking about doing this or you feel pulled to do it, you start talking to your friend who's been working at their job for 30 years. They're probably not going to be the best person to advise you on that. Definitely think about what are you going to do for retirement? What are you going to do for your health insurance, what kind of savings are you going to have set aside? And I'm definitely no expert on any of that. I've learned the hard way on all of those issues, and I'll leave it at that. But I would say don't go around asking everybody what they think about it. Just start making plans to do it.
Yeah, and definitely follow people who've been successful with it, because they've made the mistakes, and they can tell you, oh, well, don't do this, or make sure you do that. And, I've got into that same thing too. You have to surround yourself with the people who believe in that know it's going to work, not just believe it, they know it because they're already doing it. Because so many people are afraid to be entrepreneurs. Either it's in you or it's not. It's not something you can that's learned. I mean, it's just who you are. And a lot of people in my life are W-2 people, and they would never do this because it's just not. Well, they say it's not guaranteed. Well, no job is guaranteed. How many? Go read the news. How many big companies lay off thousands of people every week?
Look what that's happened with IGT Tech.
Right.
Laid off 5,000 students. They laid off 8,000 employees.
Right.
Instantly.
So nothing's guaranteed. At least with this, we know we have a marketplace that has been around 20 years, has millions of transactions. I guess a day. And there's a need for this, and especially, with harder financial times, I think that's when eBay does the best, because, I can't afford these brand new Levi's jeans. Let's go on eBay and see if we can find a used pair. And there's more and more people that are becoming environmentally conscious, that, want to use things, repurpose things, and that whole movement just feeds right into doing eBay. So I'm confident that it's going to be around for a while. And, being an entrepreneur is about being confident in yourself, being self-reliant, because, you may have worked for Coca-Cola for 30 years, but guess what? Tomorrow could be your last day, and you don't find out till you go in the morning.
Yeah,
and
very true.
That's hard too. So that's good advice. Was there anything else you want to add?
No, nothing else I could think of.
Well, I'm always watching what you're posting on Money Making Mondays, because I learn a lot from you, and so thanks for that.
I guess I need to post more stuff.
No, I mean, you're always posting things I've never heard of, and then I'll go check it out, and like soft surroundings or different brands like that. What is this? Oh, that's a good one. So I appreciate your input there. So thank you for joining us today. Do you want to share the name of your store?
It's Rochelle Sells, ROCHELLESELLS.
Okay, I will put a link to that below the video so folks can go take a look at and buy some things from you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thanks for taking some time out of your day to talk to me, and I guess it's time to get back to listing.
Yes,
Yeah, me too. Okay, well, thanks, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Bye.